Yeah, hi everyone. A very good morning to all of you. Hope everybody is healthy and safe. Welcome to yet another event, a live webinar hosted by Jile in collaboration with ANI, that is Agile Network India. My name is Snehal Motkar, and I'm your facilitator for today's session. So, I am a content writer basically with 10 years of industry experience, and I am a part of Gile's marketing team. So, Gile is an enterprise agile planning and delivery tool, an offering from Tata Consultancy Services Limited to help companies of all sizes to continuously build and deliver a valuable software faster. Let us invite Utpal. Uh, let me introduce Utpal to you guys. Utpal Vyas, he is an enterprise agile coach, practitioner, and delivery owner with 21 years of experience across multiple technologies and business domains. Hello Utpal, welcome to today's live webinar. I would request you to start the session. Over to you, Utpal.
Thank you, Snehal. Good morning, everyone. Yeah. So as Snehal mentioned, today we are going to see how enterprise can leverage agile capabilities to drive their business value and outcome right from setting up their vision and realizing the outcome of that vision, getting the return on investment. So we can see it in this value stream that we have a vision, we are coming up with an idea, we are refining that idea and then creating our backlog. Then that backlog, a few items from that backlog, we are planning it into roadmap. And that roadmap tells us, okay, what we are going to achieve over a period of time. And then what teams will do is they will continuously do these activities of development, test, and deploy to achieve the business goals as per the roadmap. So that is how you achieve the business outcome that you had set out with the vision for your business outcome that you started with. You are able to achieve that business outcome, and this end-to-end journey you will be able to track through Jile. Okay, so that is what we are going to see through use case, how we are able to do that, and what are specific new capabilities that we have introduced in Jile 5.0. I will call out those as well. And with Jile, you will be able to use across your enterprise, whether you are starting small, just planning to adopt Agile, and you are at the team level, you are planning and tracking work, that is your objective, you can benefit from Agile. If you are scaling up, now you have team of teams and you are developing a product where you are able to define your features, roadmap, and overall release schedule or program increment, as we call it. You can benefit using Jile by setting up multiple layers, or if you are even at a higher scale and you are having a portfolio of multiple products or multiple programs, or you are running multiple projects in parallel, each project being catered to by multiple teams. So that way you can easily scale up across your enterprise using Jile. So that way you will be able to benefit through Jile, whether you are just 100 people strong organization or 1,000 or 10,000 or tens of thousands. Right? So everybody will be able to benefit through Jile with achieving their business outcome by getting visibility into their end-to-end value stream. So now we are going to look at individual capabilities. So those capabilities we can categorize first into these three broad categories. So these are strategize with agility, what you will be able to do with that, and who is going to primarily use it is maybe portfolio managers and executives who are going to set up the organization's strategy, what they will be able to do, setting up their vision, goals, and then prioritize various epics or initiatives, fund different initiatives or epics, fund entire portfolio. So all those things are happening at this strategy level. Then the next layer, which is those product owners or team of teams, as we call it, they will be able to set up their roadmap, choose which kind of framework is most beneficial for them. They will be able to choose from Scale Agile framework or less or disciplined Agile. They also will be able to synchronize how teams work together, since they are working at the team of teams level. So it is highly beneficial if teams work in synchronized manner. Then they can also look at their automated deployment pipeline. And finally, when we want to look at things in more detail, how the overall progress is being made by teams or team of teams, or even my strategic goals that I had set up, the objective and key result I had set up, how I can track all those things together. So this is the overall capability view of Jile 5.0. And now we are going to look at each of these things in detail. So let us start with the top level view, the portfolio managers or executives view. How do you set up your organization's vision, business goals, and objectives? So here, before I go into that particular portfolio, let me just quickly show you that how you will be able to start with Jile. So when you are starting with Jile and setting up your first workspace, you will be able to choose your way of working, whether you are starting small, just setting up a Scrum team or a Kanban team, or you are already working in a scaled manner. Here, what I have used is I've used this enterprise scaling framework, and I have used this third column, which is portfolio with multiple program. So here, retail banking, it represents my portfolio, and under retail banking, I have multiple programs which are running: core banking, credit scoring, and so on. And each program is I need multiple teams so that program's objective can be achieved. And so let us start with what a portfolio will do at the high level. So at the portfolio, I am setting up my overall vision for the portfolio. What kind of customer segments that I am targeting? What is my value proposition? From where I will get my revenue? Where I will spend money with the cost structure? What kind of key resources that I am going to use? And all this is completely configurable, right? So Jile will provide you something out of the box, but then you can configure it the way you want. You can add additional cards as per your requirement, and set up these overall details within each of the vision card. So once you have set up your vision, then vision is still an abstract thing, right? So it is not something that you are going to measure on a monthly or quarterly basis. So you need something that you can measure. So for that, we are giving you capability of objectives and key result. So let us take one example of objective and key result. So here I am setting up one objective for this bank, that I want to create more and more self-service options so that I can reduce the dependencies on branch, and people do not have to walk into the branch. So that is the objective, business objective that I am setting up. And how do I measure the outcome of that business objective, right? So I can set up a few key results, that if I want to say that yes, I have achieved this objective or not, how do I measure it? So reduce branch walk-in for account opening by 50% is one of my key results that I want to measure. Then the loan applications also can be processed through self-service. 70% of those once they are processed with self-service, I can say that I have achieved my this business objective. And you can set up as many key results as you want in terms of whether it is a key result which you are just want to set target as met, not met, or a specific target value that okay, 300 additional new customers I want to add in the next 1 month or something like so. If it is a specific target value, you can set that, or in terms of percentage, how you see in these two examples. So you can set up your key results in multiple ways, and you can set up multiple key results against your business objective, and you can set many such business objectives. Right, so here, as you can see, I have set up 4 business objective, and each of these business objective I will be able to track as well. So we'll come back to tracking the business objective in a little while. But let us first see once I have set up my business objective, then what else I want to do. Right? So then I want to create various initiatives or epics and prioritize those epics. Okay, so let us see how we can do that. So I'm going into one of the business objectives where I have already set the key results. Now I want to see what I need to do, right? This is what I want to achieve. So what I want to achieve, I have set up, but what I will have to do to achieve this outcome. So to achieve this outcome, I need to set up various epics, as we call it in scale agile framework terminology, or initiatives in generic terms. So these all are initiatives or epics that I have identified that I need to work upon, and then I can also prioritize or see the different ranking of these initiatives or epics that I am setting away. So individual epics, I can create my own calculator of ranking score. As you can see over here, I am putting the ranking score for against each of these initiatives. So this ranking calculator enables me to identify what needs to be prioritized opposed to compared to the other initiative. Right? So you can configure your own calculator also for setting up the ranking score. Here I have set up something as a 2-dimensional where I am taking into account business value, time criticality, risk reduction opportunity, enablement, and job size, or popularly it is known as WASJF, which is shortest job first size. So this WASJF score or ranking score is something that I can assign to each of my epics or initiative. So it helps me in prioritizing my various epics that I have, and each of these epics can further be divided into capabilities or features. So now what basically I'm doing is I am breaking down my overall objective into fine grain items. Feature I can break down further into stories, and stories into task. Story I can also identify which all testing activities I need to perform against stories or features. So that way end-to-end visibility or end-to-end tracking is available right from your objectives and KPI. So whatever team is going to do or your individual program is going to do, they will be having visibility into what organization or enterprise is going to get as a business benefit by doing that activity, right? So they have clear purpose in front of them. So you will be able to prioritize your epics or initiatives, and then comes the budgeting part, financial planning and lean budgeting. So that is also something that we have introduced as a new capability in Jile 5.0. So with this, you will be able to allocate budget to your portfolio, and then distribute that budget we are giving two options for primary distribution. Either you can distribute to your different epics, or you can distribute it amongst your programs, right? So here, as you can see, we had various programs running under the portfolio. So either ways, you can do the primary distribution, and secondary distribution will follow based on what was the primary. So here primary distribution is by initiatives, and secondary will be based on my different programs. If you had done the primary distribution by your different programs, you can do the further distribution to your various epics or initiatives. So you will be able to see how your budget is allocated. You can allocate budget. You can see what is budget that you still have, which you can allocate to a new initiative, or you can allocate, increase the budget allocated to any of those initiatives. You can reduce the budget allocated to an initiative if you feel that that initiative has already achieved its objective, or it is no longer benefiting the organization. Whatever be the reason, you can adjust the budget allocation across various epics or initiatives. So along with that, you will also be able to see how much budget has been consumed uh, by the virtue of performing various tasks. Like as I was showing you earlier, that epics can further be broken down into capabilities, features, stories, tasks, tests. So finally, the activities will be performed by team, and that is going to consume your budget, right? So that is something that you will be able to see when you are defining your cost codes, right? So across your organization, you will be able to define the cost code in terms of what is the rate per hour for each of the cost, and you will be able to assign entire team. I mean, each person within the team, you will be able to assign a specific cost code to that person, right? So depending on which is the cost code assigned to your team, you will be able to see what is a rate per hour that is going to be used for calculation for your consumption of the cost. So that is how your portfolio budget, which you are allocating, the consumed cost will be calculated based on the rate that you are defining. So now let us move forward with what additional things you will be able to do at the next level. So you will be able to set up your roadmap, choose your way of working, synchronize different teams and so on. So let me go to the next level where I am defining my roadmap for the program. So here, when I am going into one of the programs, here I am going into core banking as the program. So within core banking, once I have defined my backlog in terms of features, then now is the time to define my roadmap in terms of what all business goals that I want to achieve over a period of time. I have already set up the overall business objective and key result, but now here I am what I am doing is I am defining the goal against my timeline. So your timeline could be monthly, quarterly, depending on what is the typical schedule that you follow. And you will be also able to see by the virtue of doing planning features against that timeline, that to achieve this goal of that specific timeline, what all features you need to deliver. Right? So that is how you will be able to set up your roadmap, do your planning based on your prioritized backlog. So here you have available features in terms of prioritized backlog. So if whether those are features or defects or stories or test suites, so all things are available to you to do the planning in your particular release schedule of a monthly or quarterly. So you will be able to see that what is your prioritized backlog and what is your capacity, overall capacity of the program. So against the capacity, you will be able to do the planning here, and Agile will be able to show you a visual indicator if you are planning beyond your capacity, right? So here my capacity is 85 and I have already planned 170 points worth of work. So it is turning that and it is saying that you have planned beyond your capacity. So you if you want, you can reduce or unplan some of the features so that you are within your capacity. And what you have planned, you will be able to divide further into your sprints. So the overall objective that I started with, right, that I want to enable few self-service objectives. So those objectives are further divided into epics and features are divided into stories, and stories are being planned into all these different sprints or the smallest time boxes, weekly or 2 weekly time boxes as we mostly see, and each of these teams will be able to do their planning in terms of sprint to achieve that overall business objective. And so here, what we were saying is these are synchronized sprints, right? So whether it is an Avengers team or Believers team, all are working in a synchronized manner. Their sprints are starting on the same day, ending on the same day, and that is how they are able to show their rolled up progress very easily to the program or the portfolio. So that is the main advantage that we see through synchronized working across teams. And as I was showing earlier, whether your way of working is scaled agile framework or large scale scrum or disciplined agile, that is very easy to do. So when you are starting up, when you are creating the workspace, Jile allows you to choose your way of working. And that is not the only thing. You can further customize your way of working by the virtue of choosing any application from the applications that we have in our bucket, right? So Jile provides a whole lot of applications to you. You can pick and choose application based on what you would like to utilize, right? So all these are available to you. Some of the applications would be available to you by default based on which way of working you are choosing, but you can further customize. So it is completely configurable, customizable, and the overall way of working is also something which is completely configurable. When you choose a specific way of working, certain functionalities will be enabled by default. You can come here in the way of working as a workspace administrator and enable, disable the functionality which you think that is applicable or not applicable to you, right? So here I have enabled all the functionalities just for the demo purpose, but in your case, if you want to declutter that, okay, I am not going to use components or persona based development, then you can simply uncheck and declutter your setup. You can also customize your hierarchy. You can define your own terminology. So all those things are also possible. And this deployment pipeline is also you can set up in terms of what you want to achieve in terms of automated deployment. So Jile provides you deployment pipeline capability where you can set up end-to-end pipeline with the hierarchy of stages, jobs, and steps, where steps you can either write your own steps in terms of scripts, or you can make use of our plugin store. So in our plugin store also quite a few tools are available where pre-built steps are available for you to pick and choose. So either you can use pre-built steps, as you can see some of the steps are pre-built by the virtue of plugins, or you can make use of your own script to write your automatic step. So now let us go to the next level where you want to track performance at the team level as well as at the portfolio level. So here, now this is one additional thing that we have introduced in Jile 5.0 is a customizable dashboard at the portfolio level. So here you can pick and choose from our tiles library. So let me show you the customizable dashboard and then show you what kind of configuration you can do. So here, when I go to portfolio and I want to see the performance of my overall portfolio programs and teams, I can create dashboards, and within the dashboards, I can we can choose what I want to see. So here I have chosen to see initiatives and objectives and overall release, how my current release is performing. But this is completely configurable, right? So you can from our tiles library, you can pick and choose what all you want to see in your portfolio dashboard. And this tile library is something which is continuously being enhanced. So you will get more and more capabilities in this portfolio level dashboard. So this is the new introduction in Jile 5.0, and you can measure your initiative and budget performance that we saw a while back. That yes, you will be able to see how your budget is being allocated, but how your budget is also consumed, right? So you will be able to keep a track of your consumed budget as well. You can track objectives and key results. So let us go back to one of the objectives and see when teams have planned their work and they are doing delivering various stories, testing, and they are performing all their day-to-day activities. Uh, how you will be able to track the performance of that objective, not only in terms of the output that team has generated. So this is the IT output, right? How many features they have delivered so far, how many stories and points, but also what kind of business results you have achieved. So this is the business outcome and this is the IT output. So both are available in one place so that you can as a portfolio manager, you can see whether the things are moving in right direction or you need to make some adjustments in your epics or initiatives, right? So that is what you will be able to see in terms of OKR tracking progress. And this tracking release is sprints and work completion, that is already given in terms of lot of out of the box dashboards and summarized views that you have. So whether it is at the program level or team level, lot of out of the box dashboards are available to you to track progress. So for example, here I want to track progress of my program increment or a release. So I can go to release dashboard and see the overall progress of my features, tests, and the overall release burn up, how the scope is looking like, how I'm planning to achieve the scope, what is my actual progress. If I want to see the further detail at the stories level, I can look at the story, test, and issues, how the various teams are performing. So since I'm at the program level, I am getting the visibility up to teams level. If I go to team level, I will get visibility up to individual team member level, right? So that up to which level you want to see the things, you will be able to track the progress. You can also do retrospective at the end of each sprint, at the end of each release. So all those things that you typically want to see in an enterprise agile planning tool, all those capabilities are available in Jile. It also has capability of creating your own custom dashboards and reports. You can create as many reports as you want. Keep it to yourself in terms of private report or make it public so that others also can benefit from those reports. So those tracking tracking capabilities in terms of how much work is in progress, completed or to be done, all those things you can easily track in terms of out of the box dashboards and customizable reports. So with this, I would like to take a pause and see if there are any questions, and uh, take those questions. Yes, Nehal.
Yeah, Utpal, we do have a couple of questions.
Yeah.
So the first question is, can you please explain how Jile integration is handled with the existing monitoring control system mechanism and also importing existing data in different formats.
Yeah. So all these entities in Jile that you see, right? So whether it is a feature or story or test case or any issue, so all these entities are exposed via REST API. So that way, one option for integration is you can access or perform all these CRUD operations, create, read, update, delete on any of the Jile entities via the REST APIs, and the API documentation is made available to everybody who wants to integrate with Jile. So you want to write your own script, right? That is one option. Another is we have also partnered with Cover, and Sanjay will explain those things in more detail when we talk about marketplace. But Cover is uh, uh, providing a product called Omnibus. So that Omnibus is already integrated with 110 plus tools, and Jile being one of them. So that way, through Cover Omnibus also you can integrate or make different tools work together, right? So that is the idea of omnibus, as the name suggests, that it is a common bus across multiple tools. And so you can either take advantage of Cover Omnibus, or you, if you want to create your own script and you want to make use of REST APIs of Jile as well as some other tool, you can write your own scripts as well. So these are the options, and let me also take up the second part, where the question was how easy it is to import, export things from Jile. So at every level, whether it is a story or a test case or a features or any such entity, we are providing templates in which you can fill up the data, right? So here, for example, these are the template for story and the tasks which you are going to create under the story. So you can download the template, and this template will also include any the customization that you might have done. Say under the story, you might have introduced a few custom fields, right? So all those custom fields also will be included in your template. You can fill out the data. You can easily import via Excel, and export is available in form of reports. So all the reports that you create, all these reports are uh, exportable to Excel, right? So any of the reports that you create, the report you can pick and choose which all columns you want to include, and all these reports are exportable, and it is very easy to configure report. It is just drag and drop report designer. So it is very easy to use this report designer, and once you have created this report with the columns that you want, you can also do some pivoting in this report. So all these capabilities are there, and this all these reports that you create are exportable to Excel. So this export import is also very easy to do. Yes, Nehal.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Utpal. I hope it answers the question of our audience. Uh, Another question we have is how do you gather the budget spent information?
Yeah, budget spent is, let me show it one more time. So when I am setting up the budget, allocating the budget, right? Against the allocated budget, I want to see the spent information. So I will first show one example of how that information is showing, and I will also show you how that is calculated. So here, against my allocated budget, I am able to see the consumed budget or spent budget. So how this spent budget or consumed budget is calculated is through these cost code and the tasks or the effort which is logged by individual team member. So here in the domain setup, what I am doing is I am setting up the cost code. So each cost code has associated rate per hour, and each cost code is having people. So each of my team members are having a specific cost code associated with them. So let us take example of developer, right? So developers rate per hour is say $100 per hour. So when developer logs any effort, the person whose cost code is basically CC007, right? So that person, whenever that person logs effort, what Jile will do is it will calculate or multiply that effort by 100, because 100 is the rate per hour for that person. So if you say 10 hours of effort is logged, so $1,000 is going to be considered as spent, right? So it will be against your consumed budget. You will see that additional $1,000 are now showing up instead of 5,525. If 10 hours of effort is logged by developer, then this will become 6,525, because $1,000 would be considered as consumed or spent by virtue of logging 10 hours of effort at the rate of $100. So that is how we can calculate consumed or spent budget.
So one more question,
Yes,
Utpal.
Neha.
Can we create the customizable reports in Jile? Is there any specific scripting involved?
Yes. So customizable report is very easy to do. There is no scripting involved. It is what you see is what you get. You will be able to create reports. Say I want to create a report at my overall portfolio level, and I want to see all the impediments that are there against my different programs which are running, and those programs are running different initiatives, right? So as a portfolio manager, I want to see what all impediments are there. So I can easily create a report in terms of say I want to set my point of view as my various initiatives, and against all those initiatives, what all impediments I have. So it is just selecting your point of view or base entity, and then you can drag and drop the things that are of your interest, the fields which you would like to see in your report, and give the name to your report and save it. It is as easy as that. So there is no scripting involved. You just use report designer, choose your base entity, select the fields that you would like to see in your fields. You can also do pivoting in terms of if you want to here, say for example, I have done some pivoting, so you can do a pivot also in form of I want to get a count of impediments by impediment status, or say you want to get some of your effort by task, something like that. So any kind of pivoting, whether it is a count or sum, if it is a numeric field, you will also get to see the sum as one more option in the pivot. So creating reports is very easy through report designer, no scripting involved.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Nehal.
Uh, yeah, so another one is most matured organizations do have project database. How does Jile use this database to enable the project manager to make use of existing knowledge? I heard about KDD, knowledge driven development. Any remarks on this for Jile to leverage this?
I'm not sure I have understood the question. So is the question about you have something like known error database, or your knowledge that you have set up somewhere, and then you just want to make use of that knowledge while you are doing this new work? Is that the question?
Yeah, might be because how does Jile use this database to enable project manager to make use of existing knowledge is what is the
Yeah, so
viewer is
while
asking.
you are creating any of your backlog items, right? So if you want to say reuse any of your knowledge, so while defining your backlog, you can very well provide links to that existing knowledge. So here, so if I go into this particular initiative, and this in this initiative, I want to say that my team needs to make sure that they make use of existing knowledge which is stored in certain place. So here, what I can do is I can provide a link to that existing database, right? So that is one option. Another is if you have created your database in Jile itself in terms of document repository, in terms of various files or notes, so that you can easily reference if the knowledge is captured in Jile itself, you can provide reference in terms of linking various notes or linking various files which are created in terms of document library in Jile itself. So if document library or your knowledge library is not in Jile, you can provide links to that. Otherwise, you can, if you captured your knowledge in the document library of Jile itself, you can provide those links under references.
So the next question is, as a project which traditionally follows waterfall or V-shaped methodology, how feasible or rational is it to bring Jile at a later part or subset if it switches to Agile or some hybrid model? Also, how easy is it to integrate with defect logging tools as Jira or Bugzilla?
Yeah. So Jile is designed to be an enterprise agile planning tool. But what we have seen, the enterprises who are in this journey of agile transformation and they are still having that waterfall mindset. So what we sometimes see when you are talking about say V-shaped delivery, right? So instead of creating this roadmap or various sprints in terms of where you are doing everything right from defining to delivery within that roadmap. Many a times what we see is they define their roadmap in terms of this V-shape phases or various phases of the waterfalls, right? So it is a, I would say it is a repurposing of Jile to achieve your goal in terms of waterfall way of working. So even though Jile is designed to keeping in mind agile way of working, but we have seen that people are using or repurposing this roadmap or sprints to define their different waterfall phases to depict in which stage they are in. Right? So that is how we have seen. And to integrate with Jira, so it is very easy to integrate with Jira. In fact, we are going to have another webinar as well on that specific topic of integration. So as I was mentioning, both the options are there. Cover Omnibus allows you to integrate with Jira very easily through configuration, or if you wish, you can make use of Jile's REST APIs and Jira's REST APIs. Similarly, Bugsy. So any tool actually, as I was saying, 100 and plus tools are already available on Omnibus. So all such tools will be able to integrate with Jile.
Okay, thank you, Utpal. One last question. Does Jile help to validate whether the key results set for each objective is the right one, or is it subject to the business knowledge of those who set up the OKRs?
Yes. So business result, yeah. So very good question from the business objectives point of view. So business objective and key result, as we were seeing, right? So here, what happens to those uh, key results when I want to see that okay, team has delivered all these things, but then I want to see whether I have achieved those key results or not. So logging in key result is something which is usually done in form of check-in by the person who is having the knowledge about ground reality, right? So periodically, what they do, they come here and check in their results, right? So this result, what basically they are seeing on the ground, that okay, 25% of branch walk-ins have reduced by now, right? So that is what they are coming here and checking in. So this business outcome, as we understand that it may not have one-to-one relationship. Okay, that I have delivered 50% of the features, so I must have achieved 50% of the business outcome. There is no one-to-one relationship, right? You might have achieved more or less of your key results. So what you do is you, as a person who has visibility on the ground about what is the actual business outcome that has been achieved so far, you periodically come and check in those results, just to make sure that everybody also understands or gets the view of how this overall objective is performing. So it is not only that a person from business gets to see what IT has achieved, but IT also gets to see what business outcome we have achieved. So there is an alignment between business and IT.
Yeah, thank you, Utpal. Quite a few interesting questions and interesting answers from you. So thank you, everyone.